Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the individual guests or creators and do not necessarily represent the views of their employers, business partners, affiliates, or advertisers. Any opinions, advice, or statements made on this podcast are not intended to be taken as fact or professional advice. Please consult a qualified professional before making any decisions based on the content of this podcast.
Hi everybody, welcome to Untapped Azania. My name is Maureen, the even the queen, the even the princess, or Pindulo, the answer, whichever one you prefer. Welcome to another episode again. I do not chill alone. I chill with the one and only
Mash D.
How you doing, Mash D?
I'm fresh and I'm fresher. My fresh just get fresher.
What's the mood? What's the temperature?
The diamonds in production are glowing greater than the pressure.
Hey, I love that. Welcome to another episode once again. If you're new here, please like, subscribe. Let us know what you've been tapped into so we can tap into that as well. If you're returning, what have you been waiting for? Hit us up on our socials. Let us know what you've been tapped into because we'd love to hear from you. But without any further ado, my dog, what have you been tapped into?
You know, I haven't been tapped in too much. I've just been thinking a lot about grief. Right. And I've been not even like in a bad way, but I sort of like was thinking about the context through which I've experienced grief. Right. And I sort of created a framework, like, because the context that I got to were mainly like, there were nuances to it, but it was like mainly three, where it was profoundly difficult, expected, and easily acceptable. Right. And these were embedded on like actual experiences, and maybe another one comes up later in my life based off of another experience. And profoundly difficult for me was like where it's like super unexpected, where you lose like an age mate, you lose like a close friend, where you lose someone that like it was, and usually those happen when it's like something out of the ordinary happens. I mean, accidents aren't out of the ordinary, but I just mean something where like this person wasn't sick. Like you didn't expect, like nothing. It was something that you didn't even think was going to happen, and it just happens. Like, this person committed suicide. Or things like that, where I was like, those are the contexts through which like grief is profoundly difficult to accept. And then expected is like grandparents, right? Where they've lived a full life, right? But then there will be grief like, it would be nice to talk to my 89-year-old grandmother, but I mean, she's just died, but like, it's so much easier to accept those, it's like, in as much as when someone dies, we try our best to celebrate their life, it's a lot easier to celebrate one's life when they've lived a long life.
Yeah.
And then I said profoundly difficult, easily acceptable, and then there's expected, right? Expected could be different. I feel like if it was a Venn diagram, easily acceptable and expected do intersect, because it's easily acceptable when someone's old, right? That this person's they're frail, and you're like, okay, they probably might not wake up one of these days. But then you have situations where someone young maybe is diagnosed with a disease, and then they're told they have this many months as well, right? It's expected, but even though it's expected, it can be very, very difficult to accept if maybe this is someone that had great potential. This is someone you cared about. This is someone that you saw doing so much more than they had already done at the point when whatever happened to them that limited their lives, that their lived experience happened. So yeah. Yeah.
That's so interesting. That's
Yeah.
so interesting because actually recently I had a chat with my older brother. I think the age gap between my older brother and I is like 10 years. At the specific one I was having a chat with. And look, I've never met my grandparents. They died after I was born, but like as an adult, I do not remember meeting them, or even as a child. Like I don't have a memory of them. I don't have a picture of them in my head that I can think of. And we were just having a conversation, like our catch-up sessions, and he just brought up something about like my mother's mother, like my grandmother. And I was like I was letting him know, like, do you realize, like, I don't have a picture in my head of my grandmother. I don't know what it feels like to have a grandmother. I've never really kind of experienced that as a child or
Like
right
what you
now.
bring up is actually a fourth category because it's something that I didn't bring up. Like what I said, the profoundly difficult, the easily acceptable, and the expected, don't speak to that. Because like you're just making me think about, say you lose a parent, right? Before you're like your mom dies when she's giving birth to you. A lot of those situations happened where where women die when they're giving birth, right? You've never actually met this person, right? But you grieve them because you're like, maybe life is difficult and you're like, yo, maybe if my mom was alive, I could have run this by my mother.
Yeah. And also like there's always situations where people think about like if there's a situation like that and you are supposed to make a choice between saving me and the child. Like some people would be like, oh, save the child. Some people are like, no, save me. Like, you know me. And would you feel like bad if I was like I asked myself this question, like if I was pregnant and I was giving birth and my partner chooses to save the baby and say I survive, like we both survive, me and the baby survive. And I found out like, yo, this person wanted to save the baby and they didn't really want to, they didn't choose to save you. Would I feel terrible about that decision that they would have made? You know, would that make me think about them differently? You know what I mean? But with the chat I was having with my older brother, I was just like highlighting that, like, I think I agree. I don't even know if I can categorize it as grief, but it's like, I think about like the things that I would have learned from her, like the perspective I would have gotten of my mother from my grandmother. You get me? Because I think, understanding that would also help me understand the person that she is, the human being that she is, outside of her being my mother. Like, it will help me understand what type of child she was. Like, are there any similarities between my mother and I when she was a child and right now? You get me?
Yeah.
So the stuff like that I would never be able to tap into unless if like her siblings sit me down and kind of chat me through. But like it's also a different perspective from a parent.
It's not
explaining
her
that
perspective.
about their child.
I've had a similar experience actually, like what you're talking about. So I got to see I got to properly live with like both my paternal, so both my dad's side, like my granddad and my grandmother, and then my maternal, my granddad died the year I was born, so nothing. But like my grandmother, like I had a very, very close relationship with. Like when she was alive, at a certain point in my life, I was closer to her than I was to my mom. Sure. And now I'm thinking about like, my mom had two of her sisters die, but when she was quite old. But like my grandmother was telling me about how, but like this is before I was born, right? But my grandmother was telling me about how my mom became a completely different person. So it's like I've never met the version of my mom prior to the passing of her two sisters.
Right? That perspective.
Yes.
You get me?
Yeah.
Like that perspective would be great to get. Like to understand the person that she is. Even my dad, like I've never met my dad's well, I probably did as a baby, but I don't know them. I don't have a picture of them in my head, right? It would be great to understand like what kind of a child was he? Because honestly, if there's somebody I've heard stories about, is my dad. Like when I go to where he grew up, like people will tell me gang stories. Like
Yeah.
they'll
So
be
now
like, "Yo,
imagine those stories from the context of the
a parent."
parent. Yeah.
You get me? So
They go
yeah,
deeper.
That's a interesting way to think about.
Yeah,
grief,
they
bro.
go deeper. Like, I remember like having like all types of conversations. I remember the first time I actually realized Bitcoin was a real thing. It was because of my grandmother. So I was visiting her, right? And it was one of these stories that play on SABC2, probably Lihlola Sichaba, Onguloya Butivi, those shows. But they had someone who's in the crypto space. And when I got to my grandmother's place, she's telling me about, Bitcoin. And then I was like, damn, like this thing is real. Like crypto has infiltrated like the mainstream officially.
Yeah.
Like my grandmother knows
what
about crypto is. I mean, knows what crypto is. You know, yeah.
That's so interesting. I feel like even if you just think about it, there's so many things that we grieve. Even I grieve like things that I couldn't get, that I thought I wanted and couldn't get or didn't get. Like I reflect on them and I'm like, you know, like
okay, I get you.
the idea of what I thought getting those things would be.
Yeah.
Like, say I thought I was gonna get like new sneakers, for example. That's like a very like easy example. And I didn't get the sneakers, ne? Like I'll think about in my head before I got the sneakers, I was obviously thinking like, this is the outfit I'm gonna wear, this is this and this I'm gonna do, this is, all these things. And I don't get the sneakers. Now I think about it, I'm like, shucks, I had planned this outfit, I had planned this. But that goes on to like even more of a deeper conversation about the things that you aspire to, that you aren't able to reach or have not been able to reach. And you are kind of realizing that, damn, like I will not be a billionaire by 27 because I'm 28 and I'm not a billionaire, like things like that.
Yeah.
And you have to reflect back into your life. Like
Even just experiences, like if you think of what your different choices of what you want to study were in matric, right? And the decision you end up getting to. Because you had a simple framework for why you chose what you chose, right? And you're like, if I actually just chose, if I made a different choice, just slightly, it would have like profoundly changed the trajectory of my life.
Do you know what's interesting about that? I actually had a chat with a friend of mine from church. Actually, friend might be, but yeah, this guy is like big on vulnerability, right?
Yeah.
And he talks about it all the time. He's just so vulnerable; it's scary to me. Yeah. But anyway, like he was talking about that because I was telling him, like he was saying, like none of the choices we make are safe. Like no, there isn't a safe choice in life. Like those chats. And I was saying, but like, bro, like you can calculate certain things, or this can go this way, this can go that way. But he's like, the idea of like you think that if you take that choice, this is how it will go. But you don't know. You're making assumptions on what that choice will look like. And for some reason, when we think about the choices that we didn't make, we think of them and we grieve in such a way, like we think, that would have been a better choice. That would have made my life better. Oh my word, if only I studied this, I would have been this and I would have made more money and I would have done this and that and that. And it's like, you do not know what could have happened. That's the actual truth of the matter. That choice does not exist, is an abyss.
Yeah.
Because you didn't, you don't get to revisit, you don't have to go back and you don't get the chance to go back and change that decision to actually see what that would have resulted into. So what is real is the choices that you've made and the reality that is now.
Everything happened how it was supposed to happen, actually.
Yo, Mara, do you know this?
Like everything happened how it was supposed to happen, actually. Like I think that's the safest way to look at it.
Yeah.
And it goes back to like how I always just emphasize the concept of synchronicity. It wasn't like, I just say this as like a point of interest, but it was like everything was supposed to be like, I can't like doubling down on, by the way, my second choice was econometrics.
Like
it was never gonna happen. You know?
yeah, it's not a real thing. It does not exist.
Yeah.
It does not exist.
Yeah.
It existed. Maybe those two options were there at the back.
Yeah, because
and
you're given options.
But then once you make that option, the other thing disappears. It's not there.
It was never there. Like, it probably only existed because you were given the opportunity to write.
Yeah.
So it was a placeholder for that
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah. What have you been tapped into?
So recently I watched Sinners. And I went there to watch Michael B. Jordan because that is my all-time crush, ladies and gentlemen. But also because I saw like the trailer and it looked good. Like I was like, yo, and I'm not a big horror fan. Like I don't like scary things. I like watching like things that are cute, like dramatic things. Like, I don't like watching scary things. But this was a good movie. Like, it was a good movie. I can actually just compare it to, I think in 2022, I watched The Mist. And I was forced to actually watch The Mist because somebody was like, yo, this is a good movie, sit and watch. And like, I was also like, I don't want to watch it because I don't like horror movies. But after I watched that movie, I was like, damn, like there were so many underlying things happening there. I had to watch it a few times to actually get like all the different concepts that were discussed in the movie. Sinners was just... it was just the same, but also very like, it was done well. It was shot well. It was directed well. There was no point I was watching the movie and thought like, I know what's going to happen next. Like, I've seen the storyline before. This is what happens.
I came across this well-written... I actually sent it today, so you probably haven't seen it. But it's like a super well-written piece on Sinners. And... like the writer spoke on that, like how every part is like so well done. Like, like it's...
It like everything made sense. Like Michael B. Jordan plays like two roles in the same movie. So he's playing two characters in the same movie. I believed both characters as different people. Like I don't even know how he managed to pull that, but it was like, Ryan Coogler as well. Like when he explained, like I watched a video of him explaining how they shot the movie and the films that they used. Like you can tell like thought went into it. The music that was part of the thing, the people they chose to be part of like every single person there makes sense. It reminds me of when I watched like Beyonce at Coachella, and I could see like every person on stage knew exactly what they were doing. Like in every angle you could look at that thing, everybody knew which side to look, what to touch. It's exactly the same thing with that movie. And I would like to put it on record that Cornbread is trash. Like I don't like that guy. Like spoiler alert, if you're gonna watch the movie, cornbread, bruh. Like cornbread. I hate that guy. But anyway, that's one thing. I actually like that movie. It has been such a long time since I watched a movie where I was like, I would watch this again and again and again and again. I don't mind watching it again. The other thing, like on a very lighter note, like, I've been running. Like I started running last year. And obviously there's been this...
just wait. On the Sinners chat, like, is it the ownership structure is also very different to...
Oh yes, that was actually a topical thing because...
And talk about what you negotiated in making Sinners, the arrangement you had with Warner Brothers. The New York Times reports Warner Brothers agreed to spend $90 million to make Sinners and agreed to give you a cut of gross ticket sales, now rare arrangement known as first dollar gross, meaning before they recoup their costs, you're getting money as well. Warner also agreed, and this is absolutely key, to relinquish its ownership of the film to you after 25 years. The Times reports, quote, some rival film companies were horrified that Warner Brothers would give a film away even after a period of time.
I'll maybe add some context that maybe those articles didn't add. I'm not the first filmmaker to get any of these deals. And Warner Brothers is not the first studio to provide these deals to a filmmaker. you know, so like I think that a lot has been made of my deal in particular. I'm not totally sure why. You know, I have my guesses. You know, but I've been in the industry long enough to know what kind of deals are possible, and nothing about this deal is a new thing. You know.
What's your guesses, Ryan?
It is not a I'd rather not say. but you know, like the attention on what's happening with this project, you know, outside of it as a piece of art and as a piece of commerce has been very interesting. You know, but for me, you know, this film was very important to me. As a writer director, I've made over $2 billion at the global box office. I'm not yet 40 years old. It's taken a lot of time, commitment, energy, and I've missed out on a lot of things in my life. Making films that will always be owned by other people. For this one, because it was so personal, and because I had the ability to negotiate. You know, I asked for a few things that were very important to me for this project. You know, and for what it was about and what it meant to me and my family. And thankfully, you know, I was able to get those things I was asking for from Warner Brothers.
Because people were asking him like how he got
But he said
Warner
it's not the
Bros.
first time it's been done.
Yes.
It's been done plenty of times.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably the first time it's done at this magnitude, but also maybe by a black person.
And
Yeah.
that's why maybe it's a topical thing. But like, I actually, in fact, to actually speak about that, I actually like Ryan Coogler's interviews because I think he's very like comfortable in like dispelling certain things, but also educating people at the same time. Like you can see that in how he explains the films that he used, like why people were talking about why it looks so good and why he will detail, like there's a clip of him detailing that. There's a clip of him I watched when he was explaining that, like the structure of Warner Bros. And all of that.
I've never watched an interview, but like I came across a few snippets and I was also convinced I would enjoy like a full length 2-hour interview of he's such a great conversationalist. Yeah.
And actually,
like even when he was telling the story about the first cotton field he came across. I don't know if you came across that.
Yeah, I
Like-
saw that.
like-
You know, like he has like a very interesting, like calm way of actually explaining things. And I guess maybe that's what makes him work as a director or producer. It's like you when you know how to explain what you want or maybe what you want to see, it makes it easier for people to follow what you want or to actually execute on that. And also just the partnership with Michael B. Jordan on all the movies that they've done. They've all done well. Like they're just like a great partnership. That's another thing about partnership and working together with people that you actually work well with. Like they've done so many movies. They've done Creed. They've done Black Panther. You know, like even Fruitvale Station. I didn't know that Ryan Coogler produced Fruitvale Station, which is what like one of Michael B. Jordan's like big breaks. Yeah. So it's like that partnership is good. It's nice to see. I also watched an interview of Zanele Patel. I don't know if you know her. She was at Tax FM. I worked with her for a bit when I was there. She interviewed them. Like she was.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I did see that.
Everyone was sitting down with history makers, record breakers, box office name takers. I'm talking about award-winning kings. Yes, they are the ones who have the things that sings. And I'm talking about none other than the guys who have made it possible today. Everybody, it is Ryan Coogler as well as Michael B. Jordan.
I'm saying, like, man, who is she talking about? Like, what screening is she? Where is she at?
I'm talking about you guys. You make the film sing.
Man.
But guys, congratulations.
Thank you.
Firstly, because I'm from South Africa, right? It's only right that as a Xhosa woman, I greet you in my own native language, which is the language of Wakanda. And I say Molweni. Molweni, exactly. And more than anything else, that's firstly, I also need to say, because I wouldn't be welcomed back home if I didn't tell you that you have a personal invitation to please come back to South Africa at your earliest convenience from my fellow South Africans. They said I had to tell you.
Got it.
Okay.
You gotta.
We'll be back.
Thank you. You better. You
definitely.
better. Maybe on the next one, but let's focus on this one.
Yes, ma'am.
Because, guys, I literally just came from seeing it now. I am
wow.
reeling.
Okay.
What was it? Why so much genius? Why so much brilliance? Because it was absolutely everything. And I want to say a huge shout out to Uncle James for inspiring such beauty.
That's awesome.
But this is the thing. I then have to ask you, Ryan.
Yeah.
Who was Uncle James? And I say that because in
Yeah.
terms of like the characteristics that he holds, because yes, it was an ode to the blues, right? But then there's also the side where I'm like, why was Uncle James inspiring a horror movie, Ryan? Like, it could have been a rom-com, it could have been a drama, it could have been anything. Like, why a horror with vampires?
That was me.
Okay.
That wasn't Uncle James.
Oh, not
Yeah.
Uncle Ryan. Okay, so he's also shocked where he is.
I mean, he probably laughing. You know what I mean? Like, he was the music and the setting. That's where my uncle came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with the vampires, that was your boy.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Did you grow up loving vampires?
Yeah, I love scary stuff. Like when I would come up, we would read these books called Goosebumps books.
Yes, I remember
R.L.
those.
Stein.
Yeah, and he had Fear Street, and then my mom was reading Stephen King and Dean Koontz. So and then there were the movies, but it was also like a book. We had a book called Scary Stories to Tell After Dark, and
I've seen that
another
one.
book called Campfire Tales. Like I was reading all of that, scaring the shit out of myself.
Wow.
Yeah. So. And I love those movies too. So the love of horror as a genre.
Yeah.
I love it. It feels ancient. You know what I mean? Like it feels like you tap in
get
and
that.
So I just combine those things.
And you did it so beautifully because honestly, throughout the movie, I was sitting there like with my mouth gaping open because after every single thing that was happening, I couldn't believe it. But before I get into that, you guys are literally like the bromance we didn't know we needed in Hollywood. I want to say that. You complement each other so well, but more than anything else, I also love the fact that you guys meet each other at a point of genius. So this is why I want to know, and I'm asking both of you, starting with you, Michael, when we talk about the moment that there was the spark of understanding that you're working with a genius when it comes to each other, what moment would it have been on any of the sets that you were on where you, Michael, were like, oh my goodness, Ryan just blew my mind. I can't believe that he genuinely is one of the greatest of all time. Or for you, where you were like, Michael has just etched his name in history. He's definitely getting an award for this one. What was it for you guys?
I try not to think about stuff like that.
Okay.
If I think like that, I freeze up. So for me, I know that Mike's the same. We came up as athletes, and you gotta like focus on like what's right in front of you.
Yeah.
Or risk catastrophic failure. And Mike, I keep it to the work. You know what I'm saying? Like Mike's really good at his job, and that's what I need. You know what I'm saying? Each time we linked up, we're trying to get something done, and he was the best person. He was the best person to help me get it done.
I love that.
Everything that you're talking about and all these compliments, like it's all very it's very flattering, and that might be some people's truth. You know what I'm saying? They might look at us and be moved by our work and believe these things.
It's not what you guys really focus on.
Well, I think it would actually do us a disservice if we looked at it that way.
I hear that.
Because the work is hard, man, and it is very it's real work. You know what I'm saying? Like Mike got to work with his body. You know what I'm saying? He's got to be in there with 60 days or so, probably 50 of those days twin work.
He don't like compliments at all.
That I know.
But what he's saying is definitely
totally
true.
true,
No. Wait, look.
I'm good with a compliment like in the right setting.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
no, for sure. But we don't focus on those things.
What he's saying is right. No, but hear me out. If you say you like my pocket square, I would like that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. When it comes to the work,
Yeah.
it's a different thing when it comes to the work,
Okay.
right? So I got this one.
Did you-
No, I got you. So what he's saying is true.
Okay.
We don't focus on those things. We don't focus on the compliments or anything like that, and we get the work done. And you know, I'm about that. But there is also another side of me of understanding of what we are to other people, into the world, into the community as well. That I do accept. You know what I'm saying?
Love that.
And maybe it comes from being in front of the camera. And growing up in front of the camera and evolving into something else, but there is a genius to him. You know, there is a
genius in you as well.
No, I appreciate that. See, and I like appreciate that and keep and keep it pushing. But because I want you to get on your time. Go, give me your next question.
No, 100%. I wanted to quickly ask you, just in terms of the nuances of the twins, how did you get it right that you were able to kind of, because I remember there was a moment I smiled at the screen where you made Smoke's voice a little bit lower than Stack's voice, and I was like, oh my goodness. Like even being able to do that when you were doing it, at 2 different times.
Yeah. There was Ryan hooked me up with these twin consultants. Called their names was Noah and Logan Miller, and they were identical twins. And I got a chance to like really talk with them and pick their brain and get into the psychology of what it's like to be identical twin. And I also had a dialect coach in Beth McGuire who helped me discover and work through the childhood trauma, you know what I'm saying, that they carried with them, up to their adult lives, and how that manifests into their mannerisms, how they walked, how they talked.
I did see that.
Beautiful.
I don't know who Zanele is, but like I know it's definitely her because one of our mutuals actually said, "Friend, you're doing so well," and they shared a reel, and it was a girl from South Africa who was, I think, dressed in Makosa and interviewing them, and I was like,
Zanele.
Yeah,
that's shout out to Zanele, doing well.
Yeah.
Doing amazing. But it was also, I feel like people like that is also like a Tyler situation where you knew like they were always going to do good. And maybe you never knew how good or how big they were going to get, but like, you
knew they were good.
Yeah, you knew they were good. So it's beautiful, but it's also not surprising. Like it's like really good to see. But yeah, the other thing I've been tapped into, it's like me, bro, like I started running last year. And I started doing like park runs, obviously, because they're easy. It's big people. There's a lot of people. It's like a community thing. It's nice. But now I'm trying to find like a running club that runs regularly. So maybe 3-4 times a week if possible, so that I can just follow like a running plan. And bro, like it's so difficult. Because I don't know, it's not supposed to be difficult. But it's like when you look at this running club sometimes, you're like, are we here for running or for other things?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, are we really Are we really here for the run?
I know where you're going with this.
Or for the other things? So I've been struggling to just get like a running club, especially in my area that is not.
Okay, but what was the spark, for lack of a better word, that sort of gave that off? Like this is more.
It's like
other things than running.
It's the aesthetic. There's an aesthetic to running.
Yeah.
And the aesthetic looks a certain way. Like the people look a certain way, first of all. Like everybody's like fit. Everybody's like muscled up. All the girlies look good. Don't shout to the girls, but they look good. And they look like they've been running for a while. So it's like really good looking people, right? The other ones is like coordinated with outfits. So you kind of have to wear like your black, or you have to wear, you have to have the glasses and you have to have the gear, you need to look like a runner. And the other ones are just... You
can't go as like some novice.
Yeah, you know what I mean? The other ones are just like, you can tell it's people that have formed like a really small community for, like, it's very like, close-knit people. So it's not like open to everyone type thing. Like it's like people maybe that know each other from work or that know each other from a certain place. So they've kind of grouped each other. So if you go there, you'd be like the outsider, which might help because maybe you're exposing yourself to new people. So you get to know new people. But I've been like, I just want a running club where you show up as you are, bruh. Like, I don't need to be, I don't have to have an average pace of like 4.4 or like, I don't have to have like a gear and a setup. I just need to have like running shoes, or even if I'm running barefoot, like I just need to be there and run with people. So that has been like, challenging a bit, and especially like when I recently bought running shoes, like proper running shoes, and when I was there buying the running shoes, like this guy, I'm telling him, yo, this is kind of where I am with the running, you know. So he's telling me like the different types of sneakers like I can get, but he's also like, yeah, but you can call me, I'll run with you, like and I'm like, bro, like I'm just trying to get shoes, bro. Like, I'm just trying to get shoes. I'm just trying to, like...
I'm not about that.
I'm just trying to get shoes, bro. And I'm really explaining my challenges with, like, finding running clubs that genuinely, like, I am doing now. Like, really, like, I'm struggling.
So
but those guys
hilarious.
out there, like, yeah, no, you can take my number. Like, like tell me when you want to run. And this guy's from Tembisa, bro. I'm not close to where you stay. So how are we going to do, like, 5:30 or 6 a.m. runs? You know what I mean? But yeah, that's been on my radar. But it actually makes you think, like, the anxiety of meeting new people gets you thinking about, like, exposure therapy. Like, there's a girl on social media. I hope I can find her videos after this so we can put it in post-production.
Day 13 of rejection therapy, we are going to be singing in public. Now, the problem is, according to other people, I cannot sing to save my life. But in my head, I can sing. And whose opinion matters? Mine. This part is in grade 8. They made the whole class audition for the school choir. And I remember my high school teacher giggling when I did my audition. Lisa, can you do me a huge favor? Can you take a video of me?
A video? Where are you going?
No, I'm
Yeah. But
I want to sing.
oh, all right.
Okay, thank you. It's recording already. Sorry.
No.
Okay.
No worries.
I'm gonna prove nothing to lose. Far away, far away. Far away, far away. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. How was that?
Good, well done.
That was a slay, honestly. Day 15 of rejection therapy, ask a stranger for a piggyback ride. I know, I'm crazy. It's giving undiagnosed, but something is definitely wrong. But my therapist says I'm fine, so I think we're good to go. Usually after 5 minutes of running, my heart tells me, if you don't stop, I will. So the goal was to get to that point before asking for a piggyback ride. Hi, can I get a piggyback ride? Can I get a piggyback ride? No, I'm playing. You're not supposed to say yes. That lady was just too sweet. But yeah, we did it, Joe. She's a runner. She's a track star. I'm sorry.
How the fuck I'm still up?
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, go. Hi, everyone. Hi. It's my birthday. Thank you. Happy birthday, Jan. Zippo. Happy birthday to you. I almost had a heart attack.
Like I think she was trying to get rid of her fear of getting rejected. So she basically went around like asking for like things from people just so that she can get the reaction or
The
rejection, and then
get
just like
over
get
it.
used to getting rejected. She would go into a store and ask if she can speak on the mic. She would she was at like an event once and she was saying like, she told people like it's her birthday. So, and people knew about it, and so they started singing happy birthday for her, like things like that. Like it makes me wonder, like, have you ever like just thought of that? Like exposing yourself to things that are like
It's
uncomfortable.
I always tell my friends like crushes are not meant to be pursued. You know, and yeah, like, bro, like have Yara Shahidi as your crush, bro. It must be someone that's unattainable. It shouldn't be, because the thing is, once you have this girl that's attainable, and then you actually get a chance to experience who she is, you're probably gonna be disappointed, bro. She's only human, right?
Wait. So are you saying like if like if you had a crush on somebody that's attainable?
Yeah. That I mean, maybe you
who's like in close proximity, say like somebody from work or somebody from church or somebody from school or whatever. Are you saying like that, like you would pursue that,
or someone who you can just hop onto their DMs or
But you can hop into everybody's DMs. You can hop into Yara Shahidi's DMs. Bro.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, where yes, you can. Like you could even hire someone on Fiverr to find you her email.
Yeah.
That's a hacker or something. And I'm not. But I'm just saying, like, where the odds aren't stacked against you, bro. Like, you get me? Where the odds aren't stacked against you. And I know it's very different from exposure therapy. I'm just saying this because it's very funny, because I know I'm just trying to say that like don't it's a good thing because it normalizes life. It's like how I also think of girls is I will never compromise on the kind of girl I'd be with. Like I'd listen to why, because girls are problematic, right? Like girls are a lot. So I'm better off being hurt and being put through the gutters by someone I can look at and be like, yo, he's really pretty. I like her. Like, I really like her.
I'm suffering through this, but
yeah. So imagine like you compromise, you got someone that's decent and then she still abuses you. So it's like across the board. Like it's like the girl, like a girl hurting you, that's inevitable. Like she's going to hurt you. Like she's going to hurt you. So you're better off getting hurt by someone that you're proud of.
Listen to my girlies, don't compromise. Because I think actually a friend of mine told me this, he was saying he's like, the one thing that he thinks guys are really good at is not compromising on what they want. Because I think girls compromise, bro. Like girls will be like, yeah, but like he's like, he's not like what I want, sir, but like, I mean, I can give him a chance. Or like, he's got money. He doesn't look like the type of person I'd go with, but like, he's got money, so it's worth considering. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't think about a girl in the context of like, yo, she's got a good career, or she's got, nah, bro. Yeah. I'm going for the one I like. I'm going for the one I mean, obviously I could get rejected, but I'm saying when that one girl rejects me, I'm going for someone that's same tier. Yeah. And then she rejects me, and then the next one that's same tier, high up. Like, no. But you get how this is related to exposure therapy, where it's like,
I get you.
I just wanted it to be a bit funny because we spoke on grief in the beginning. I didn't want to speak of exposure therapy in a negative sense, but yeah, like,
oh man,
go for it.
Like, you just expose yourself to those, and even if it's somebody out of your league, just be
that's the thing, bro. Like, as a guy, think about every girl being in your league, bro.
Yo.
Think about it like that. No, think about it like that. Like, view it as a dartboard test.
Okay.
Right? And this dartboard test, you've got plenty of darts. You only have to hit the bullseye once.
Fair enough. Yo, but that's...
You get me? Like, saying someone is out of your league is backward.
Yeah.
Like, you could say this person isn't my type, in that like they could be someone that looks the part, but just because of the way they live. Like you could maybe you could tell from just looking at their Instagram that this is a lifestyle that I wouldn't even be able to maintain. This girl travels a lot and like, nope, way above my tax bracket, all that. Sure. But I'm just saying, like, above your league in that, like, yo, she looks too pretty.
I can't.
No, man, like, bro.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is so interesting. Because personally for me, like, I never think I always think like maybe a person is not a good match, but I don't think like someone is out of my league.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, there's probably people that look at a situation that are going to be like, Maureen and that person is probably out of Maureen's league, or Maureen is definitely out of that person's league.
Yeah, but people are always going to speak.
I actually don't think about it like that. I think like people are people, bro. Like people are people. Yeah. And in whatever like circumstance they find themselves in life, like you will always find the person.
Bro, even if I'm hanging out, right? Like I prefer being around pretty girls. Like even for even for leisure, it does something to you. Yeah.
But to be fair, it's pretty girls to you, right? So
Yeah,
it's like,
but so that's what I'm
it's an
saying. No,
object-
the thing about
yeah.
it is, it's yes, I could. There've been occasions where, say, I'm at a festival and I'm like, yo, bro, that girl is pretty.
Yeah.
And then my boy's like, nah. You know, and that's the thing. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But I'm saying to me, you know, because it's my
Yeah.
Pekingji fibers that I'm
Yeah.
igniting, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, yo, yeah, like
Yeah.
I like being
Yeah,
in the presence
that's why,
of pretty
because
women.
I think people are people, bro. Like at the end of the day, like Ajnandaba, even if you are like the richest person on earth, or like you're just like you don't even have money,
Dude, like even,
Yo.
dude, like think about this, nah. Also think about this. It might be a hilarious way to look at it, nah. But like think about the fact that if she's a pretty girl, right,
Yeah.
and she's like our age range, like say she's between 20 and 30,
Yeah.
right? No matter how pretty she is, no matter how great of a body she has, bro, she's been put through something by someone. You get me?
Fair,
Like
fair.
there's
Somebody has done
a
your
guy
dirty.
that like has
Yeah.
made her. It's
Yeah.
very like there could be a situation where she didn't, but I'm just saying it's very likely
Yeah,
that
somebody
person
saw the same
Yeah,
thing
so
and they
if-
still like did her dirty.
they
still.
did her dirty, bro.
That's people, bro. That's people.
Like even with a girl, like whatever guy, bro, there's been a girl that showed him like this is real life.
yeah, that's true.
So with that in mind, like don't think about, like you can't think about people as being out of your league. And this is also a thing even in the context of like work and life
Yeah.
and business
Yeah.
and career.
Yeah.
Like what I've come to notice about successful people is if you're able to extend value, they will listen to you. So
True.
like, don't be,
Value.
if you're a taker,
Yeah.
if you're a taker, yo, you're so great at this.
Yeah.
I think you can help me with this. You can get away with that sometimes, but you're most likely not
Yeah.
going to be able to get away with it. But if you're able to somewhat be of value to like someone, there's no way. If you're able to show someone how you can improve their livelihood, improve whatever they're doing, improve their business with your elevator pitch to them, there's no way that they're going
To think of you as like
yeah, they're going to give you the time of day. Very
Yeah.
likely that unless they're just petty or they just
weird people.
yeah, but like they're most likely going to give you the time of day.
And if
you're-
they're worth you obsessing over, if you have placed them on this pedestal and you think this person is great, like they should be listening to you. If they don't, that means they're not even worth you putting them.
But also that's what I'm
high.
saying. Like put them on the
Sometimes.
pedestal, but it's like also don't take without something to give. Like
Yeah.
there's always something you can give, even if it's like even if this person is like a multi-millionaire and like you're just you're in your final year of uni. Like there's something that you could have learned that you could just say, like, or even just a reference. People liked being praised. Like reference an interview of theirs. I mean, you know them. Reference an interview of theirs that you saw and maybe challenge a train of thought that they had. Like, yo, I heard you talk about how you like Robert Greene's work.
Yeah.
What do you think of what he said on laws of human nature when you talked about 1, 2, 3? It's like that's something concrete.
Yeah.
And
It's a good starting point, yeah.
like this person can tell that, yo, this is someone I could extract some level of value from because they're that genuinely interested in me to the extent that they actually know the kind of authors I'm into.
Yeah. 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 I feel you. But it's like with that chat, ne, and with like just like going for what you want and like, yeah. I feel like people say this a lot. They're like, oh, the good guy finishes last and all of that. Bro, I feel like good girls finish last too, dog. Because I'll tell you of a personal experience. Like, I've been dogged out, like, when I've just been nice to a human being, like, I'm just being a nice human being to you, and I've been dogged out. There was a time, I'm about to overshare, but like, there was a time I was talking to this guy, bro, and this guy, like, he was not employed at the time. And he was like, nah, like, we can't get in the thing because, like, I'm not employed, bro. And I got it. Like, I was like, yo, like, I get it. Like, it's a big talking point for you. Like, for guys, like, they want to have money and they want to be, like, provider and all of that. But I was like, yo, like, at this point, I was even, like, I think I was, like, a student or something like that. And I was like, bro, like, probably a student of my first year of working. I don't remember. But I was like, bro, like I'm not even like asking you for money. Like, I'm not asking you to have money. So I started thinking, like, was that an excuse for you to just get out of a thing because you're like, no, I don't like this person enough, so I'm just gonna lean on the fact that I don't have money.
Yeah, like as an excuse.
Now I think about it, I'm like, yeah, so should I say I want money next time? Like, should I tell people, like, yo, you need to be like this and have this and make this much money and do this, and so that they are like, okay, when they have a reason, they must just have a valid reason to say, this person wants a person who has this money. I don't have the money. Because I was being, I'm not even say a nice person. I was just being myself and being like, yo, bro, it's not even a thing for me. But it was a thing. So right there, we are finishing last. Good girls, good guys. And it actually brings you to the thing of, like, it's very rare for you to actually get rich if, like, you are going to do it, like, morally or in a good way. Like, if you're a good person, like, it's going to be very hard for you to be rich because for you to be rich, it sort of, like, requires you to be a different kind of person. You shouldn't, like, care too much about, like, the impact of some of your decisions or how it's gonna hurt people and things like that.
I think for me, how I think about that is, I think many a time we misinterpret bluntness for a lack of morals. You know, like, in that, say someone's a strict boss or someone's just like, and in that, like, they're starting their business and stuff. And because I think that's what would be considered, I mean, at the core, people are, there's no ethical billionaire, you know, like, that's a whole different conversation. But, like, if someone's starting something and they're ruthless in their pursuit to make it work, right? They could very much be considered immoral. But it's not that they're not moral, they're just doing what works, right? And that could look like they're stepping on people, or it's they're taking advantage, you know, but it's important that people act, and they act rigorously, and they're pragmatic in their approach if they actually want to make things work.
But do you think, like, the road to success is built in that way? That, like, you cannot not be that. You cannot come across as that and be, like, super successful.
Thing about it is, I genuinely feel like you have no choice. Like, at some point, someone's like, if I'm working on something, right? And it doesn't even go as far as, like, I've got someone employed. I'm working with a freelancer, right? And I've been commissioned a project. Dude, like, it's very unlikely that that person's going to work on a project succinctly from conception to completion, right? And when you, like, the bluntness is you calling the bug, you calling the mess, you calling, and sometimes if that persists, then you have no choice but to get rid of that person.
Yeah. But somebody else could be like, you also have the responsibility to maybe figure out where that person is struggling and try and help them fix the bug.
I mean, that's true. I watched this interview with the CEO of NVIDIA, and he was talking about how his framework is he doesn't give up on people. Like he pushes them and pushes them.
You once told me that you really didn't like firing people and very seldom did it. Can you elaborate on that?
I'd rather improve you than give up on you. When you fire somebody, you're saying a lot of people say it wasn't your fault, or I made the wrong choice, or there are very few jobs. Look, I used to clean bathrooms, and now I'm the CEO of a company. I think you can learn it. I'm pretty certain you can learn this. And there are a lot of things in life that I believe you can learn, and you just have to be given the opportunity to learn it. I had the benefit of watching a lot of smart people do a lot of things. I'm surrounded by 60 people. They're doing smart things all the time, and they probably don't realize it, but I'm learning constantly from every single one of them. And so I don't like giving up on people because I think they could improve. And so it's tongue-in-cheek, but people know that I'd rather torture them into greatness.
That was the phrase that I was hoping to uncover. Yeah, I remember you mentioned that.
Yeah, so I'd rather torture you into greatness because I believe in you. And I think coaches that really believe in their team torture them into greatness. And oftentimes, they're so close. Don't give up. They're so close. Greatness, it comes all of a sudden one day, I got it. Do you know what I'm saying? That feeling that you didn't get it yesterday, and all of a sudden one day something clicked, I got it. Could you imagine you gave up just that moment right before you got it? So I don't want you to give up on that. So let's just keep torturing you.
Like he pushes them and pushes them. But I don't think if you actually go and research NVIDIA from its inception to now, he's never fired anyone.
True.
You get me? So I'm sure.
But also,
I'm sure
he hasn't, somebody else in his structure.
No, he probably has as well. He's probably been. I'm talking about him specifically. He's probably been in situations where he didn't give up on a person, but like the person also just gave up on themselves. You get me? Like where you're trying so hard and you're like, okay, no, do it this way, learn this course, do this thing, do this, and
go read up on this,
and then eventually it's I need to get rid of you.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes that's also happening in a short period of time where someone was around for maybe 6 months or 3 months. And then now it's like, yo, this person is ruthless. This person is immoral.
Nah, I feel you. Interesting chat. I'm about to ask you our bi-weekly ask. It's about that time, fam.
Okay.
And it is my week this week. So I don't have anything heavy this week. We've already dealt with so many heavy things.
Come with something heavy.
It's not heavy. Like this is like chilled.
Light work.
This is light work. What are you grateful for today?
I mean, we just spoke about grief. I'm grateful that we're able to actually record, man. Like we're still alive. I'm grateful that we can, like, we're breathing, bro. Like we have. I'm grateful that we have life to look forward to. So yeah. I'm just grateful that I get to see you.
Oh, look at you, Mashi.
Yeah. What are you grateful for today?
2, I'm grateful for life. I think the past couple of weeks have just been like crazy. Seeing people go like experience grief or just have to deal with it or start their journey with it is like a crazy thing. But also like, I think life in its like metaphorical form as well, like having life in the things we do, right? Having life in like the work we put our hands on. Like when we were at a church event this past weekend, and somebody was praying and they mentioned that like may the work of our hands be blessed, like life in that. Like people speak about the living waters, like life in life in our stride, you know, like life in the projects we start, like life in the things we dream about. May they truly come to life. Like may we get to experience them. Because so many of us are alive, but like a lot of our dreams are dead, and a lot of our crafts and a lot of our creativity is dead. And I think I'm grateful that like I'm able to see life in my life, like just life when things are alive, like that. The fact that I'm able to come here and actually record this is life for me. Like this is alive. This dream is alive for me. So yeah, I think same, fam.
Yeah.
Same.
Life is lifing.
And it's precious.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah.
much to be grateful for.
And we say, peace time for the peace out.